what I need to do here is we're gonna start fresh. I'm gonna get rid of this tutorial because I don't need that. I don't know why. Well, I'll do this just so I can get my person over here. BNSR, Bridgeton and Saco River. So I'm gonna leave my character on here. And the way I typically do this, I guess I need to re-rail it. I forgot about that. So we're gonna re-rail this. Now this is a fresh start. The way the map is when you first get it. Okay, so BNSR1 is on the tracks. I'm gonna jump into BNSR2. Probably hear the screaming in the background of my son watching Monsters Inc. The way I do a lot of this is I do a lot of things through Waypoint. So we're gonna turn around and move. I'm gonna end up selling these. I really don't like using them. They work, but they don't work. They make money, but they're not as they take more time than anything. But BNSR2 is going to pick up our coal car. Did I do that right? I did not. BNSR2 needs to nose the coal car. Does this need to be repaired? I don't remember. It's at 70%, so I'll back it into the thing there. Where is it? It's right there. So when you first start with Railroader, this is where you're going to start out at. You're going to start out at is it Whitman, I believe it is, sheds? I can pull it up and show it. Whittier. Whittier Engine Service, Whittier Interchange, which is where I'm pulling that coal car from. You have these 4 places to start off with. This is your train station, your passenger station. And then there's an Ela passenger station. And there's Ela Farm Supply. And then Conley Creek, which is the logging facility. It's a forestry, which you'll bring your Conley Creek logs down to the Whittier sawmill. And that's how you will start making product. Now, the other thing I got to do is I got to go into milestones, and I'm going to do this different from what I did before. But, excuse me. I don't really want to buy this yet. Is there anything that's going to make me? So we're going to do Ela Track and Bridge and the diesel fueling stand. I'm going to try to hold off on doing this Traxxas Silva. The problem with the Traxxas Silva is it is a very it's a long haul to get stuff from the interchange. And I think I opened it up too quickly on my actual play that I'm doing like personally. So what I want to try to do is build the um the rest of the track out away from like towards Ela, Bryson, Alarka, and there's another one out there. But I think I want to do all that first. All right, so I think I'm over here messing with the Streamlabs. This train is hooked, so I'm going to... Now, every time you hook up, the train's going to connect. This couple will automatically connect as long as they come together. What you're going to have to do is click on the glad hands and then click on the angle cocks or the valves to let air go into the train. Every once in a while, you're going to have to pay attention to make sure that this side is closed or open. Closed if it's the end of the line, open if you have more cars past it. And the other thing is when things are in the interchanges, if it's a consist of cars, typically at least one or two cars will have their handbrake on, which you can, if you just right click, you can just click on that and it will apply it, or like right now it's applied. And you can see down here that it turns purple, and then I'll click off of it, and then I right click again, and then you can go right back here and release handbrake. Okay, so now I'm behind that. I'm going to roll this, and I use Auto Engineer Waypoint. It's one of the fastest ways to get this done. When you go to set your waypoint is going to be set to where the end of your train is, that it's going to be facing in, whether it be the nose or your last car or leading car. So you just want to kind of click it so it's approximately where you want, if you can estimate where you want your car to stop, or if, for instance, if you're loading coal or water, approximately where you're going to be feeding your coal or your water from. For instance, I'll show you on this. You want to stop your train in line with the water spout right here, within reason of this, so that way the water spout can turn around and fill that, same as coal here. So what I'm going to do is, since I just realized he's still out of the train, we're going to put him back in the train. And yeah. Fucking very needy. Okay, so let's... So what's going to happen is this is going to turn around and go back and forth until it rides, or gets into the track that it needs to go into. On Auto Engineer, everything automatically switches itself. There is a way to play a game mode, which works very well with multiplayer, where you can turn around and change your sidings and stuff like that through the command and control tower, which is right here, but there's nothing in there yet. So this will auto feed directly into the hopper, into this coal chute. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click on that. I'm going to set the handbrake. I'm going to zoom this in. The only brake that matters, or the only air supply that matters, is the one on the train, or the closest to the train. So I can take that. Now this is empty of air because I left this valve open, which I'm going to close it just for the hell of it. And I'm going to open the coupler, but just by clicking on it. So now I'm going to set BNSR number 2 to go to BNSR number 1. We're going to hook up to it, and we're going to drag it to get water and coal, and then I'll push it back into the maintenance shed. And I'm also going to look at this. This is 100%, so it doesn't need anything done to it. So fairly simple. It just takes a little bit of time to get used to. There are rail cars here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to inspect, go to operations, unload. Oh, I guess I got to go up here to locations. I'll go to tier 1. Okay, so I'm gonna load these. I'm gonna have to figure out which one's which. One of these is longer. I forget which one it is. It's Conley number 2. I'm gonna copy that to all those. Okay, so now that we're back here, I'm gonna hit tab, and all of these cars are gonna want to go to Conley. There we go. Why I can't select the sawmill yet in that, I don't know. So now that the trains are connected, I'm going to select BNSR number 1, leave it all in neutral, and we're going to connect the air. Just remember, you gotta be careful not to disconnect the coupler. Okay, and I'm gonna set my, well, this is gonna back up, so I'm gonna set it to stop about here. That's a guess. I'm not 100% sure on how far that needs to go, but we'll see. All right, so, oh, and now it's showing the arrow. You can see the arrow of where the back end of the train is going to stop, or front end, depending on which way it's facing. So I tend to use that as a guide. I know I'm getting coal, so this is probably a little too far back. We might have to play with the manual mode of the train a little bit, but it should work fairly decently. And preemptively, I'm going to lower the coal chute. You wouldn't do this in real life. You'd wait until the train was completely under it. But train should be switching track. Oh, it's already on track. Okay. Might have been perfect. Stop. All right, now it's automatically gonna start pulling coal. It's gonna dump out the 2 tons that's in here first, and then it's gonna start taking from this. And what'll happen is it'll just dump in as it needs it. I don't know why we stopped. not sure why we stopped. It should take a lot more than that. Yeah, so that's weird. So what I'm going to do is maybe it has something to do with the fact that this train starts or is given to you by the game, and maybe it's broken, and that's why it won't let you fill it all the way. Excuse me. So I'm going to back the train up, give it a little bit of water, and we're going to push it back into the maintenance shed. So this should drop, and it's not going to be perfect, but it'll fill. Luigi. One thing about when you're playing this game, you want to, if you have to go a far distance, you always want to make sure your engines are fully loaded before they head out. Whether you hook all your cars and you bring them to your coaling and water source, or if you turn around and fill up at your coaling and water source and then hook to your cars. Either way works in this game. Some locations it can get tight depending on where your cars are compared to where your locomotive is, but either way it works. I know when you do the Alarka pull, which I was told from one of my buddies is only a 2.8% grade, and there's another grade that's worse than that that's further on. But when you do that Alarka pull, you're going to use a lot of fuel and water. And if you're just using these starting engines, you're most likely going to have to double up and do a double header train. So, all right, so that's full. So let's tip that back. We're going to close that hatch. And we're going to bump this into here. At waypoint. Where's my... Try to find the reverser on this thing. Oh, right here, right in front of me. Just to mess with it and see if it would work. All right. So I don't understand, or I don't know why I couldn't completely fill that with coal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to disconnect from that. I clip through the wall here. Okay, now with BNSR number 2, I'm going to take it up. I'm going to hook those train cars. The way I do it is, and I know it's not the proper way, is I will hook nose 2 and we'll push those train cars up into the logging area. The reason I do that is that way, if I need to, I can unhook and come back down the hill without the train cars, or I can section the train cars out and break them up. Just makes it a little bit easier. I still wonder why I couldn't. Is he gonna be upset that I fucking? So I'm gonna go to locations and Whittier interchange. I'm gonna schedule a drop for 11:55. Now, on the other side of that, equipment. I'm going to sell off both the caboose and the Pullman car, as I don't really care about doing um, passenger service yet. I really don't care about doing it either way. So I have a box car and I have that. Okay, so we should be good there. So when it becomes, I think it was 11:55 or something like that, which it's 9:20. Um, it'll automatically take those and drop the cars I need for the next thing. Okay, so I need to make sure I'm selected on BNSR number 2, Cruise Auto Engineer. I'm going to right click on this car, go to Inspect, go to Operations, and then I'm going to click this little arrow, which is going to send me directly to Conley Creek L2, which is Lumber 2, or Loading Zone 2. And then I'm going to Auto Engineer Waypoint all the way up here. Now, what I haven't done, I should be able to do on the fly, is give these things air. Oh, shit. And that's where I messed up. Told you that was a concern. Alright, so that should have stopped fairly quickly. So I'm going to have to do it all over again because I messed up. But this is already open now, so the only one I have to actually connect or click on is this one right here. So it should be airing up. Now I'm going to go back, Operations, Conley Creek, click on it, and then send my Auto Engineer Waypoint back to here. We should be good. Now, still at 70% on this. You need more, Bubba? I'll take care of that in a minute. I'm going to pause this real quick. If I can. There's a way to pause my stream. Oh. I will take care of him real quick, and I will place you guys on a train that's running to a waypoint. Okay, so I'm back. So this is gonna turn around and push up into the woods. It's quite a decent pull. What I can do is pull up the map here. You can see, I'll move the map out of my face here. You can see it's gonna come up, and I believe I set to L2, which is gonna be this one. The one you have to watch out for is L1. L1 is or it's either L1 or L3. I believe it's L3. I forget which one it is. But anyways, you have to watch out for this one right here. Um, these are pulpwood tracks, and this is your log track. This is a log track, and then I don't remember. I believe this is a log track, and that's pulpwood. You just gotta watch out for it because you'll get your train on the wrong side of it, and there's actually double track up here where you can set your train cars and you can run around them, and then come back and hook them, pull them back, and then shove them in. You just have to watch out for that. On my other save, still haven't figured out how to make it work best for me. But I'm sure there's probably a way to turn around and gravity drop them too, but I haven't done that yet either. So we're gonna move that. So here is where Silver Interchange is all the way up here. I don't want to open that up yet because I don't want to have to take everything from here all the way across and then still have to bring it out this way. We're gonna open up if we can Bryson, and then if I can Alarka Junction, Alarka, and Almond. Um, it's gonna take a bit, but it definitely won't be in just this stream alone. But I would like to turn around and do that as much as that as possible without opening up um, Silva Interchange if I don't have to. If I end up having to, then it's not a big deal. But this is, even though it's all for the most part flat and there's a tunnel in here, I want to say it's like right in here somewheres or maybe over here somewheres. Even though it's for the most part flat and it's easy to track, it's just it takes so long to get your trains from the interchange here, or actually it's up here, all the way across to get it out to Bryson. We have the interchange here. However, in my eyes, it's not big enough to deal with some of the stuff that we have. And also, it this Whittier area gets very congested with your logging. Because at one point you could have 2 to 3 trains just running logging, and you only have that one unload track, R1, right next to the lake where we pulled the cars from. So we'll see about what we can do about not having to open it up that way. So I'm going to go back. I want to see if now that I have control, um, the coal conveyor is empty. I wonder. Oh, that's why. I forgot to set the unload to East Whittier. So there we go. Problem somewhat solved. So now it's gaining coal. Okay, so that's why I couldn't load that coal car all the way. The tender all the way. So with BNSR one, now that I have that fixed, I'm gonna go to auto waypoint. I'm gonna set it for about here. That's gonna bring this train up out of the service there. So that was just a failure on my part. I forgot that you have to actually physically set the drop locations of that. Is it gonna be enough? Missed it by that much. Now what you can do is go to yard, click that to forward, and tell him to clear half a car. It might be too far from where he's setting right now, but it will automatically move forward approximately a half a car. Yeah, it's gonna pull too far forward. So I'm just gonna take it to manual. Put the reverser in, turn the brakes off. Put about 5% throttle. Let it roll back just enough. And then we're gonna lock the independent. Okay. So while we're watching this, you're gonna see this train car. You should see this train car lose its coal. Like the coal level will slowly drop down in it. I don't know if this carries enough to see that or not. It's a T17. Yeah, so I just watched it drop a little bit. So what's gonna happen is I'm gonna have to now. Oop, I'm going to place my engine, my locomotive, BNSR1, a waypoint it all the way up here. By doing that, when the interchange fills, I have easy access to get to either one of these 3 tracks plus to this track down here. And I'm pointing over here because I'm playing on the monitor over here. But um, but yeah, I'll have access to this track here if I need it. Oh shit, I have to hook these anyways because I have to move them. So we're gonna stop BNSR1. I want to see. There's a brake line pressure. So what I might do is I might hook it from the other side. However, I do know that most of my tracks I'll have to nose the cars into for the first couple trains. So we're gonna sit here and watch this. Oop. Now it's gonna slowly back in, and right before it's ready to couple, it'll ease the brakes on, and you'll see this latch in. I don't have to hook this up because that has pressure and is closed. So, and you can see down here, there's a little triangle down the right here where it says BSR1. This is the locomotive is the very first little like diamond, then the tender, and there's a little yellow arrow, which means that the air isn't hooked up, or for some reason there's a problem with the air hooking up. And then you'll see this is like a whitish color. That means it has air. I'm gonna auto engineer this back to this one. You'll see this will change color, white, well, yellowish, then white. And then as it turns yellow, it means that the auto engineer is braking or the train itself is braking. And that rolls easy. So what I'm going to do is so I'm just going to back it up here. As long as your cars that you're selling are on the yellow piece that's highlighted there, they'll go. If they're not connected, sometimes they don't go. I don't know if that's a glitch or if that's done purposely or not, but it's weird. So you see the train is starting to turn yellowish. That means it's slowing down, and it's using the independent brake. Once it stops, I'm just going to disconnect it, and I'm actually going to pull this train into that siding because I haven't hooked any air into it. I don't need to do anything further for it. So that's like that. So I have BNSR number 2 is at the waypoint. So all these cars do fit in this waypoint or in the siding, which is good. If I needed to, if I had more cars, I could turn around and send the train back down to grab them, or I could go to the other sidings and grab them that way. I really don't need to though. So I'm just gonna leave BNSR number 2 hooked up to the logging cars, just because there's no real point. Like I don't need the train for anything else right now. BNSR number 1 is gonna do most of the lifting down at the bottom, and let's see. Locations, East Whittier Interchange, 11:55, so 2 hours and 13 minutes. So, since I have both the trains are somewhat stopped, I'm going to go up here to the top right, click on time, and then pass time. It doesn't affect train movement. If you have trains moving, your trains will still be in the same spot. They'll be at the same geographic location when you wait 5 minutes, or if you sleep or wait 6 hours, they will be in the same spot. It does not fast forward your trains. It just fast forwards time. So if you're trying to bypass time while you're waiting for a car or a train to go between, say, Whittier and Bryson, it doesn't do that jump. It will just jump the time. So if you're waiting for, like right now, I'm waiting on the interchange for rail cars, it'll just do that. So I'm going to aim this down here so you can actually see. These should disappear because we have these set for to sell. And I'm going to jump once, twice, in 15 minutes. So the money amount went up. I sold those, sold those cars. I have train cars for Ela Bridge Site. East Whittier Diesel Stand is there. And then that's for the bridge site. I think they're all for the bridge site. So what I'm going to do is, since all but one of these are for the all but one is for the bridge site, I'm going to push these all the way up to the Whittier Diesel Stand. Which, if I remember right, I think that turnout is right. Yep, right there. Can I hit that from? So in this instance, I'm going to push this train to here, or technically I could pull the train to there if I really want to. It doesn't really matter. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the train so that way I don't have to run around the train twice. BNSR number 1, we're going to waypoint out, click in. I have to check the train cars. I have 1 and 2 are on handbrake, so I'm going to release this handbrake. I'm going to release this handbrake before the train gets there. It's going to cause the train to roll a little bit, but not a big deal. It should have air pressure in it. And the other thing I'm also going to do while I'm doing this is I will, once I get air going to these cars, I will shut the air off between this car and this car. That way I can just disconnect, pull off, back this box car into place, disconnect. I'm not even going to shut the air off on this box car, but I'll disconnect and then pull BNSR number 1 back to GTW 53326. I can get rid of this now. So that's all good. So now there's air in this system. I'm going to come back here. I'm going to shut this one off first, then shut this one off. I'm just going to pop those lines. It doesn't really matter. So I'm going to move this forward. And technically, you don't have to bring the whole train with you if you don't want. But the way I see it, it's easier to move the whole train than it is to have to go forward and back a million times. Especially when you start dealing with filling these junctions. So this is SNO1, SNO2, or SO and S1 or something like that, where box cars and flat cars will go, and then you'll have dump trailers will back into here for sawdust. If you can move all of them at one time, it's a whole lot easier than having to do, oh, I have S1, and then you back it in and then put it in. Oh, I have SO, back it in and put it in. Oh, I have the sawdust trailer, back it in and push it in. If you can put them all together and then say do your sawdust and then SO and then S1, which these two are interchangeable, it's a whole lot easier. Or you load up one and then you back another one out. So it really didn't work like I thought it was going to. But either way, now we're gonna back this into here. I'm just gonna back it in as if it's gonna connect to that. It's really not gonna matter in the end of it. I'm gonna shut this handbrake back off. Excuse me. So this is back into the maintenance shack. It's gonna give you a diesel stand, which I believe sets right here somewhere. No. Why is that not? Oh, it's still on it, so I don't know. So I'm gonna close that valve. I'm gonna close this valve. And the only reason I'm doing that is because I might have to pull that first before I have to pull that other car. It depends on how much work I have done on the train. Okay, so while that's moving to get hooked up, this is still up at the waypoint. Still getting loaded. You can see a couple of the cars are full. Well, looks like one of the cars is full. Still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 14 more logs to be put on this train. So this game, the way I see it, or the way I've been playing it, it seems like a lot of set and wait. Unless you're physically controlling the trains, which you could if you want. You can manually control the trains inside the cab too. So if I go to this view, you can manipulate all these to do whatever you need it to do. And like you can do pretty much whatever you need to do in the cab. There's a lot of knobs and stuff like that that don't function, but like here's your throttle, obviously your whistle, your main brake, your independent, and your reverser. That's the main controls for this. So if you wanted to, you could turn around and control the train from inside. But I don't because I'm more of an arcade type gamer when it comes to this. Oh shit, I did that wrong. So what I meant to do is I know this is gonna go to the end. Hooked to BNSR1. I'm gonna push this train in. Similar to how we did the logging train, just because I know that the logging train, or I know that the bridge sites are dead end track straight in front of us. That way we can very easily just flow right into where we need to be. And then I can drop these cars and just dip out, bring the train back, so I can move or maneuver other cars to wherever they might need to go. Um, so I'm gonna give this a contract. I give this a contract. I'm gonna give this a contract. Milestones. I have that. I don't want to do this contract here. I really don't want to move my rail line that far out. Oh, so that train has to go all the way down and then come all the way back. So we wait. So you can control through the keyboard when you're selected on the trains the different items like the horn. I'm sure you probably do the lights. Says rear headlights full. I don't see a rear headlight. And we're gonna connect this and open these valves. Okay, so now that's all connected. I'm gonna open this up. Same thing we did before. Either bridge site. Click on that. And we're gonna auto engineer right to there. I did find if you go too far past um, the site, like if you go all the way up into the buffer, sometimes the cars won't be in the unload zone, which means that you won't finish the production in that one day. Not a big deal, but it's just something to keep in mind when you're playing. So we're gonna go back. We're gonna watch BNSR1 chuff along. They did pretty good at animating a lot of this. So like the running gear, the fucking piston, and the slides and all that worked pretty well. The bell. They have the road numbers on it. I think they did a pretty good job. I'm sure others like Mark Huber and them would say, "Oh, well, there's this that they could have added, or this they could have added," but I think it's pretty impressive. Um, then again, I'm not as deep into the railroad stuff as they are. So, another thing you can do while you're on the train, if you have these little things popped up, you can highlight over it. You can see how far away you are. This number is as the crow flies, not as the track is. So 2.8 miles might end up being 4 miles, which is, I know it's not, but it is a distance. Um, so that's kind of how that works. It it functions very loosely. So let's take a look at our other train up here. They still only got still need 7 more logs. Well, 14 more logs. Oh, so let's go back to this chuffing along. I think they did a pretty good job of building this. It, it's pretty impressive, even though the graphics are still on the lower end. It's still pretty cool with the amount of detail that is in it. Here is it the Steins or whatever it's called? It's one of your other drop locations. This is Ela Station, Ela House, which is track FR1, and then here's an oil company that this track leads off to, which you'll see. It's no, it's not Ela. Sorry, it's Whittier. This is all Whittier, but that one company is Steins or Steffens or something like that. I'll tell you in a second because I just opened it. Stenzel, Stenzel Manufacturing, and Hollyfield Heating and Oil are those two that were off on the left. The heating and oil was the one with the tank. Stenzel was the manufacturing that had the big building. And then you had the Whittier Depot that was on the right side of the train in between both of them. Um, so we're heading up to the Ela Bridge site, Ela Farm Supply, and Ela Station. Ela Station is right in the middle of the main line. Kind of a bad location for a station because it's before the double track, which is part of the reason why I don't really like passenger service on here because the map doesn't make sense. I know in real life that's how some of these are. However, it's just I think it would be better if they had it set off. Like if this track doubled out here, but it's they did it for a reason. So and it leads to a challenge. So we should have a train coming up pretty soon here. Let's see. Mike Wazowski. So the train's slowing down. The track speed's 30. Let's see if I can get the train to do 45. I doubt it. So running to waypoint, it just slowed down. Let's see on the map where it is. Should see it coming around the corner any second now. It is right here. Oh, now I can hear it. Anyone else get that moment where their fiance says, "Oh yeah, I'm at work," and then she's sending it TikToks all day? Yeah, that's what's happening. Oh, here comes the train flying around the corner. Oop, shit. Where'd it go? maybe one of those foamers. Shut my camera off so you get the full effect. So the train's cut power. It's just kind of like coasting in, and they're easing the brakes. As you see over here, this is turning yellow and red in some places. They're applying the independent to slow the train itself down. And now it's going to pick up a little bit of chuff just to make sure it makes it to the end. And we're just about there. Trains arrived at waypoint. So I'm gonna close this valve, apply that handbrake. Close that valve, open that. All right, so that's that. I'm gonna bring this train back to the interchange. So the interchange, you can change this, but the interchange is scheduled for 6 a.m. every day. At 6 a.m. every day, what will happen is just like we witnessed when I fast forwarded time and the caboose in the passenger car disappeared and all the other cars randomly showed up. That's exactly what's going to happen at the interchange at 6 a.m. every day. You can change the time and make it earlier or later. A lot of people will turn around and do it so it'll arrive right when the sun is coming up in game. That way they're doing everything in daylight, because when it gets to be dark, it's a lot harder to see in this game. Partially for me, partially because of this, but it's just easier to play everything through the daytime hours of the game. However, you can run this 24/7. You saw we can open up a schedule, which is right here, and I could schedule another train for 1450 or 250. Um, that way, if I already had a lot of cars in the interchange, say if you're starting to pipe in a lot of work, then at that point you could just very easily, dump off the interchange, get fresh cars in, and you could work around the clock without having to stop. I'm not gonna do that. Like I said, I'm gonna send this car or this BNSR1 back down to the interchange on auto waypoint, um, and then from there, I'm gonna wrap this video up because it's already an hour and 5 minutes. So while this is heading that way, I will say to y'all, have a good one. Remember to keep the shiny side up, the rubber side down, and I'll catch you on the next one, which I'm probably going to be playing a little bit more of this. I might do jumps in between, build up areas and then start playing. And I might try to get some friends in to do multiplayer. He knows who I'm talking about if he's paying attention or if he watches this. So hit me up and let me know. But yeah, y'all have a good one, and I'll catch you on the next one.